Being still. Well, good evening, everyone. It's so, as they say, so amazing that we can reach so many homes tonight. And looking forward to spending this time with you, but to share a message. And so, Susan and I and Gail will spend this evening with you, and we're going to share something that's very important to all life force. And so the ancestors have been asking, are we listening? And so they said to remind the people, are they listening? Are they watching? Are they looking? And so tonight we're going to remind, and not really remind you, but observe what is happening around the world. And we need to come together to help the most important person in our lives, and that is Itnistaha Yonhonzadi, our Mother the Earth. And Susan is closer, and I thought of you when that happened in Ohio, and how your animals, your pets, and I was thinking of them, and I was thinking of everyone else in that area, how it's so scary that what people are doing that is shortening everyone's life. And so, but before we begin, we'll always invite the ancestors. So I hope that you have your candle and your water and your feathers or whatever your tools are for bringing back that presence of being in sacredness. And so we just take that deep breath. Each one of us take a deep breath. Let it go up through your nose and down through your body. Have your feet grounded on the floor. And so you take that deep breath and you let it go. You take another one and you let it out. Now you take one more. How many of you achieve peace tonight? Isn't it amazing? Just by doing that, we get in that sacred place. We go to that sky world, the spirit world. We talk with our ancestors. And so I'm going to turn it over to Susan because she's our guest. And we always let our guests speak too. So take care and listen. Really listen, because the grandmothers have some words to share with you tonight.
Thank you, Grandmother Renee, and thank you for bringing us to that place of this centering and the peace that it's just so close. We forget that it's right there, and sometimes we can get so caught up in everything that's happening. When I found out that I was going to be on tonight, I posted something on my page. It isn't on there right now because I found out that it would block this broadcasting our ability, but it was something that showed up last night, and it was a post that was made by a man who was there in Ohio. He went over just recently, the last couple of days, I guess, recently, to see what was going on. And it was really a long post. And he talked about all of the deaths that have taken place, not tens, not hundreds, not thousands, but millions and millions of all the different kinds of insects, bugs, which are so important to our balance and our health. You know, all the different fish, the different kinds of arachnids, everything that was there, and how while they were there, and he was just devastated while he was walking and seeing this, some officials pulled up and said, "There's nothing dead here." And he just sat there and he looked at him. And I thought to myself, how many of us are in that place where we'd rather not see it, so we block it? And the truth is that we can't anymore. We have to see this. So I was grateful to be invited to come here tonight. And I live here on the banks of the Mississippi River. And the river is called the main artery of the turtle. And he comes all the way down and all the way up, they say that he begins, or this turtle blood artery begins up there in Wisconsin, but as we know, it goes further up. It goes further up that way. And so we have such a responsibility to keep these rivers flowing. And I don't know if you knew this, but we had a peace boat that came down here about 2 months ago. And it had started years ago in Guam, the Marshall Islands, and it has been sailing around the world. And it came down from the Great Lakes. It came all the way down here to us. And they're bringing a message to try to stop the nuclear proliferation. And it's just 4 people on this little boat, that are just coming all the way around the world, and it's tiny. But when you think about it, those vehicles that carry our voice. So tonight, as I was waiting for you to come on, I was thinking about how over these years, how much you have taught me about the water. And so I wanted to share with you. I don't know if you could see that. Can you see it?
Yes.
And guess who I learned about that from? And Spirit has now given me another responsibility, because this represents the tears of the men, and they are sacred. The men's tears are sacred. And we have to help our men find permission to cry. And in doing so, to teach this to their boys, and in doing so that we will have our balance. And I've learned this through my being with you in these years. And I just, I want to say thank you for that. And now we're in a very interesting place in the water and the rivers, and our mother, she's taken us. She's taken us to so many different places. And when we get there, there's always something waiting there for us to have the courage to stand up and do. But first, like you began us tonight, we must ground ourselves and find that place of peace. And you did that. So thank you.
Thank you. I remember when many, many years ago, when they had that oil spill in Alaska. I was up there, and to see the birds just covered in oil, it's very heavy. And I'm still think about that, and I think about all those lives that have given their lives for us to take up and notice. They say whatever happens to the animals, to those little ones, those creatures of the earth, it's going to happen to us. And so we're calling out all you, as they say, indigenous in the heart, indigenous to the land, indigenous to that truth that we we have power. And that's why we're going to go with it. The greatest grandmother of all is Grandmother Moon. And in that, we can all come together, because we're asking for the greatest grandma to come and sit with us, to guide us in what is need to manifest tonight. And we're going to, just like every grandmother, we care what's happening to our little ones. We care what's happening to the world. We care what is going to be like in the future. And so tonight is the most powerful night, because it is the most sacred time of your life right now. And they say in March 2023, I seen this someplace that there's going to be great change. And we are here tonight to make that great change. We are the ones that the history will talk about, that time that all these grandmothers, they got together, and with the help of all the granddaughters and all the aunties and the nieces and the sisters, and even the brothers and the sons. Because there are men out there that are listening to, and I want to thank them for being a part of this tonight and being involved with ceremony. Because when we do a ceremony, moon ceremony, we would have the men on the outside and the women on the inside, because that's their role. And so when our grandmother, they always tell us that that grandmother's always watching, looking down, and she's observing what is, as they say, what ceremonies are we doing? Or have we forgot our ceremonies? Or have we forgot how to be caregivers of the land? That is such an honor, to be a caregiver of someone that You know how you love someone so much, you want to make sure that their life is going to be better. Well, that's the way she is. And so we gather here tonight to offer up our support, because for the longest time she has been giving us that support. And I say thank you for those that have joined us tonight. And if you don't have a candle, you know, you have that candle inside you.
Mhm.
You have that candle inside you. You know, there's so much restrictions today. You can't have a fire. You can't do this. You can't do that. But you know, the Creator has given us many things to compromise and get things done. We can say, okay, we're not going to have a fire the way they understand it, but we're going to bring a bigger fire, and that's our heart. And so when we touch our heart, when we touch our stomach, that's where the spirit is. And so when we, you know, right now, you know how you get that fire going, you rub your hands like this. Well, you know, that fire is in your stomach. That's where the spirit is. And so when you rub that fire, feel that warmthness that's rising. For all of you that don't have the ability to light a candle tonight, just rub that and you feel that warmth coming up. That warmth is coming up through your body. It's tingling in your whole being, because you raise that fire up. And that fire connects to that heart. And pretty soon them two are working together, just like our hands, to cause the more warmth. And that is that love, the love for all creation. They also say that we cannot smudge. I know when we go to many places to do workshop, there's that fire,
Yeah.
the safety, they say. But I told a group of women not too long ago, we were in this building and they said we couldn't light to smudge. Again, simple thing as lighting a fire. I said, oh, they can't stop us. You know what we're going to do? We're going to use water.
Mm.
Use water. And so what I asked them is to stand, and we're going to clean ourselves. And so I asked him, and I spoke words over the water. And I said, no, I'm giving you love from both worlds, the spirit world and the physical world. And so the water is the one that's going to help us. And so I put my love into that. And I know the spirit of the ancestors put their love into it. And so we use that fire, my love and their love. And I asked them to make their cup. Their cup. That's why our hands can fold like a cup. And what I did was I poured a water in there, and I asked them to, and then I asked them to wash themselves, because every morning that's what you do. That is ceremony when you wash your face. So you're going like this. You reach, you turn on the water, and that's what you're smudging. You're doing what we call, you're cleaning yourself of all that negativity. Maybe you had bad dreams or whatever, but you smudged yourself. You smudged yourself. And that's, even when a baby is born, that's how we say, we introduce our babies to the water, to the environment. We hold them up and we say, this is your family. And so that little one is well aware that they are loved. And so I always think, oh, I can't do ceremony. No, the Creator says, I give you many tools, and they're right with you all the time. So wherever you travel, if there's no medicines around, you know the strongest medicine is in your heart. And so what we're doing right now is we're gathering. We're gathered and we're sharing love. So what we are doing is almost putting another log on the fire. And pretty soon, all these kind words is going to start coming and glowing inside you and bringing up and touching your heart. So tonight, because of what is happening around the world, you know, we must never forget that, I told you many things that they tell us, you can't do this, you can't do that, and they take these away from us. But you know what? The Creator give us simple ways of bringing back our power, to help others. And so tonight we call upon you to help us. And so I'd like you to share the time we did ceremonies along the river.
Well, I know that when you were here, and you'll be here soon again.
Yes.
And I love it that you're sharing this, because this is not out of random. Because I was told yesterday there'll be no sage and there'll be no smudging inside the building. And I was thinking, wow. But when you were here, Renee, and I know anyone that knows you, you are the ceremony. You have moved into it. And the main one that I remember the most was in the garden at our farm, where you dedicated that garden to life. We had lost a girl, and we didn't grieve. We didn't have to. We didn't have to stay in that place because of you. You became the river, and you moved us through that. And as a result, by dedicating that garden to her, she continues every year to grow and flourish. And that's what the river, that's the gift of the river, the gift of the water, the gift of birthing, because we know that it wasn't the first, and we know that it won't be the last. And as I was thinking about it, this came into my mind when I was listening to what you were saying, that when my little boy was just, I was pregnant with him in Buffalo, and I applied for a job as a nanny for a rabbi who was a Hasidic Orthodox rabbi, and his wife. And I was so shocked when they hired me, because normally they don't go outside of their paradigm, but they hired me. And they had really strict rules. You can't put meat in the same place as milk and dairy. And I'm trying to learn all these rules. And one day I noticed under the bed was a little silver basin in one of the bedrooms. So I asked the mother the next morning when she was getting ready to go teach school, what is that basin for? And she said that in their way, every morning when the mother rises before anyone else, she lights the fire, and then she takes the water in the basin and she washes the feet of each family member before they put them on the floor. And that way, like you're saying, it washes everything off you, from the day before that you don't want to take into your new day. Maybe, like you said, the dream that you may have had that wasn't good, but still a teaching. You never know. But to do that, and so that has become, just like this, that has become something that I carry with me as well. And I really wondered, what are we going to do since we can't smudge? And now there's no doubt. So thank you. Thank you. You brought that ceremony already here to the river.
Yeah, the ancestors want us to be ready, to always be ready, no matter where you are. And every time a lot of times when we hear trauma, we hold our breath. Oh my God, that happened. What you need to do is give life. Blow it out of your body so that you don't feel being attacked by trauma all through your body. Learn how to give your body life. Blow that trauma out, and so that you can think clearly. Now you're thinking clearly. Now you put your hand, you put your heart. And I like how now we can carry a heart. And so carry that heart, and then that becomes the whole world. That becomes the water, the grandfathers, the grandmothers, all the animals, because they all contribute to creating this. Did you know that? They all created this. And so they shaped this gift that reminds us. And I see, I don't know if you can see it, but there's like a line right in the center of it. And it's almost like it's almost like my hand, like this. It's like this. You will see, I don't know if you can see it really. No, you can't. And it's divided. It's like a river in between between the two worlds. I like We can talk about the physical world and the spiritual world. We can talk about North America, and we can talk about our land across the lake, the waters, the ocean. And so it talks about the world coming together, and we all need to, as they say, pray for that precious gift. And I have another one. And water shapes these. And it's just like water's going to shape us. Water brings us the form that we are needed. We come in many different colors, just like the stones. That's why children like to go near the water and they pick up stones. They're talking to us, and they're reminding us of what we need to do. So I always ask everybody, how many stones do you have in a dish in your house? Because what's the first thing a child will bring is a stone to you. And it's like their most important treasure. And so they give you this stone is to remind you to be strong for whatever is coming. They seem to know things. And over my years, I've gotten many stones from many people. And so it has helped me to remind me that, if I'm ever alone, if I'm ever challenged, I look at my dish of all those different color stones, people's gift that they have given me. And I think of, wow, they give me some strength. Isn't that what we see rocks and stones as strength? And so when I look at them, I always think, oh, I'm so blessed. And that I don't, as they say, I don't look at the world as being what people have said it's like hell. To me, it's heaven because I've been giving so much to be here today and to speak for the land. So when you hear my voice, it's not just of the people, it's of the seeds that is to come. You see, the seeds, that's us. These seeds play a very important role in our life. And so it forms all these things. Look at this beautiful shell. Well, I'm learning how this beautiful shell, it was formed by water.
Mm-hmm.
And so we realize that water plays a very important role in making who we are. And that's what I always remind the people. If it can make someone shiny on the inside, can you imagine what it's going to do to you? And then that water plays a very important role. And I'm grandmother Gail that was to be here, but I know she's probably busy with her grandchildren. And her and I had gone to South America. And we went to do a ceremony for the waters, the headwaters. We went to the Ecuador, the equator, and we did ceremonies. It was amazing to be there, right in the center of all creation, and to feel the energy that was going through. It was like being charged. And so we did ceremony. We used that water, and we blessed all the waters that was going to come from that mountain. And when I was coming down the mountain to go back to the lower part of the land, it was like the ancestors spoke and they said, check your coins. So I opened up my coin purse, and lo and behold, I started to cry. I started to cry because it was an affirmation. Because there in Ecuador was a coin that had the white roots of peace.
Nice.
Yeah. The white roots of peace. The Iroquois Confederacy. Wow. Thinking of all the grandmothers and all our grandfathers, how they always, the treaties were always to protect our two row wampum. Talks about that. And how we are as grandmothers to protect the land, the air, and the water. But we do it by doing another power, and that is coming together, holding hands, and speaking with our hearts and and looking up into the sky world and sending off our love back to them, not asking for help, not asking for support, but giving our support back, because they're always constantly sending us energy, sending us love, sending us new life. And so now it's our turn. It's our turn to give it back. And that's why we hold our hands up and we look up to the sky and we offer back all that energy force that comes out of our hand. It's that love. And so we project it up, and I was taught to go like this, and the wind takes it and carries it all around the world. It takes it and it gives it the life force to anyone that needs it at this time. And so well, I was waiting for Gail to help us, but her spirit is with us. And so I'm going to ask Susan if she'd like to add more to this before we do this.
Well, I'm just sitting here and listening and feeling, more feeling even than the words. I'm feeling the heart and the whisperings of the spirit and connecting it through. And, you know, I have a friend tonight, Melissa Ellison. She is on the ocean. And just a little while ago, I wish I could show it. She sent me a video that she took about 3 hours ago, and the whales are right beside her and they're breaching. They're diving and they're coming up out of the water, and they're so happy, and you can feel their joy. And I sat there and I thought how perfect a timing this is, because when we do this tonight, when we work with the water, and I did bring some with me as well, some things to do that with, that there is nothing random to what we're doing. And where we are, me here, you there, everyone in our different places, you know, we have a purpose. So I thank you for that. I'm grateful that I'm here, and whatever it is that you want to take us into, I'm ready.
All right. I know it's 7:31. I thought, you know, this is a good time we've got your heart prepared.
Yeah.
We ask that what you are going to do is you play a very, very important role tonight for your children's children, for your communities, for your environment, for everyone. And so tonight we're going to put our love back up into the sky world. We're going to put it up there and send it off to all creation, because they asked us for help. And I was going to do it on the new moon, but things didn't work out that way. But we're going to use Grandma, the one that is the strongest. We're going to ask her to receive this gift so that she can project it back to the world, and to all those that are in need of their spirit being renewed, especially the animals, especially the trees, the grass, the soil, the insects, all of them, that their lives wasn't being ignored. They gave their lives so that we could understand and could stand tall together with one another. And so I'm going to rub my hands together again to bring up that fire, and I'm going to fan it. And so I'm going to fan it and send it all to everybody that is in need of this love that we have tonight, and send it off to all the waters, all the waters. And that is the waters that we have inside us too. And so we send this water off to every living force on earth, and even those that had passed on, because they have now entered into that spirit world. And so we send off that love so that it goes back to them, to thank them for what they have made this day possible for us to come together and to share that love so that all creation come. It is just like the children that were discovered. We are now discovering that we have a gift to give back. And so to all creation, we send you our love, and to raise you up and to hold you and to bathe you in ceremony. Each of you to be taken in that good way, as they say, wrapped in water, to feel the power of water. And so ask we ask each and every one of you is to share that love today. How you were surrounded in water at the time of birth, and how the water has given you renewal of your life. Every day it is bringing change to you. And so now we give back that gift that it gave to us to help and to revise it, to renew it, and to restore it to its original way of being. And so we say to you, grandmother, we send this love off to you and to all your creation, that this gift that we give to you will show you how much we love you and how much we appreciate all the things that you have been doing for us for many, many centuries. And so we say, with much love and gratitude, we send it off to everyone that is in need of this gift of our love. Oho, now, miigwech.
Yeah.
Ah, there she is, Miss Gail. It's
I'm
your
here, but you're echoing. So every time you were talking, I was hearing it twice.
well, it must be
And I was going,
ancestor's voice. So please share.
yeah, yes. Yeah. Well, hello and good evening to everyone. I don't know what's going on with this echo, but as I'm talking, I'm hearing the old sentences or the sentence before. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. Okay. But I just want to say that this morning it was early morning, and there she was, big and beautiful, looking in the
Mhm.
window, and I just I just laid there, and just loved the I, I just loved the I guess the beauty. It was just mesmerizing. I was just laying there, and it was just mesmerized, and so we call this moon, or some people call this moon the worm moon, because the worm moon is about all the new life that is trying to surface and coming back. And and so that represents us as well. We're getting ready for that beginning, that new beginning. And the new beginning is not just a seasonal thing. The new beginning is a way every year, with this opportunity to rejuvenate. So it's that process. It's the beginning of, we're just starting to get ready to open up and to be there. And of course, when we think of that, we just had some crazy snows here. And a few days ago, my daughter showed me a snowball, and she lit that snowball, and it was quite shocking to me, because it turned black for one thing, and then it smelled like tar and oil, and and then I looked at the snow, and it's not the snow that I grew up with. The snow was like droplets, but thick and hard, and and I got scared. I felt this fear, because our prophecies are coming true. And our prophecies tell us at the time we're not going to be able to plant our gardens. And I was thinking of how much the waters are affected. So if the snow, it has that, it's also the same for the waters. Thank you. And everything else in life. So the waters are the animals and the fish and all life right now. And whether we know it or not, we can be sitting in a high-rise building and not even pay attention to it. But in reality, it affects us all. And so I was thinking, what is that doing to our minds? Because our minds also are affected by chaos, and something is happening, and our minds are trying to adjust to it. We as human beings, we learn to adjust, and this is a big thing to adjust to. the fact that, wow, nothing we can do to control it right now. And so we're thinking of all of the effects that are happening in nature, both good and bad. It's really nice to see the winds come and clean, but what's happening to our waters, our source of life? Our children are being affected as they come through that birthing canal, um, because we are a reflection of that water. So there was Grandma Moon in her beauty, looking down and trying to say, "This too shall pass. This too, this too is awakening." And so just like it's time to awaken our bodies and our minds, this is the point that we have to really take note of that awakening within, that we need to feel, that we need to share, that we need to be part of, that we need to do something about. So I was talking with a beautiful grandmother, Corinne Tushkanik from Waffle Island, and I invited her to be with us tonight. And of course, she's doing ceremony with her women in Waffle. And, and it's just so nice to know that worldwide, we have a lot of grandmothers and a lot of elders and a lot of people who are really taking things seriously and putting through those prayers. So thank you, Grandma Renee. I didn't get to see all of it because I was trying to figure out where my link was, but I was watching for the time, and so I was able to listen to like and I just love the way you both express yourselves. You know, you both need to write a book because those words are just so beautiful and they flow like water. They flow beautifully like water. So as grandmothers, I guess that's kind of the essence of the grandmother, to be able to flow, because we have gone through all those currents and all those rapids and over the waterfalls and been put back up into the sky and put deep in the earth, and then here we come up and we flow, and we've learned how to do all of that when we're still here. So we have a lot of things to be thankful for. We're thankful for the opportunity to still have life, to give life, to be life, and also to be able to pray. And prayer is the foundation of that heart and that beauty that we have within. So I'm often thinking of one of my ayahuasca journeys where you're able to go in any cell. You can go into any cell and you can make change. You can go in and out of different realities, and each time you're taken to a place for a reason. So to be part of that balance, I think we all have to realize that we are part of that balance. We are part of that core healing that that is deep within us all. So I like to talk of us as human beings as being born the medicine. We are born the medicine, we are the medicine, we carry the medicine, and sometimes we just have to know that because nobody has told us that. And so once you know, then you know that you have that ability to nurture, to grow, to get what you need, and to spread those seeds of beauty around. So hello, everyone. It's really nice to be with you tonight. This echo is kind of throwing me off, so I'm gonna be throwing pulling out these buttons a little bit more and see if I can get rid of it. So, mm, mm,
So never think that anytime you're not able to help out, just take that few minutes of your life, every moment of every day, and to say thank you to creation. And that is you're in ceremony just by saying thank you to creation, thank you to all the powers that be. So right now, like grandmother Gail had mentioned, that there's chaos. So as grandmothers, we have to push that chaos aside, darkness that people are feeling, and know that the grandmothers are out there. They're the grandmothers of the world. We're busy. We're out there trying very hard as to help bring our people up and not stay in that place. And so you each are a candle. Can you imagine right now how much energy we're giving off? We're probably, they have the what do you call those light scale in the north?
Northern Lights.
What do you call those light scale in the north?
Northern Lights.
Northern Lights.
The Northern Light.
So we are being the Northern Lights tonight. We're letting the people of the world know that we are celebrating our gift back to all creation. So I want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Thank you most of all to Jody that made this possible, that we could reach your home, and you have a part of this ceremony. And so I want to thank to all of you that is here with us tonight. Thank you for taking this time and celebrating this ceremony of showing our love, but most of all, caring enough to come together and lighting our own fire for tonight. Most of all, caring.
Beautiful.
This is the craziest night ever. I mean, I'm hearing everything twice. Is there a reason for that? There's got to be a reason for that.
Doubly important. Doubly
Yeah.
important. I have something for you, Gail. Just so you know, I don't know if it shows up. Is it too bright? Just before
No.
I got on, I put a picture of Corinne on here. Corinne Tushkinen. So that I didn't know you had asked her to come or invited her. I just felt like she needed to be here with us. So I have her on my phone in her picture.
Oh, she's here with us?
No, just her picture.
Oh.
And she's holding a big cake.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm getting 2 messages. Yeah.
Is that saying something, Gail?
There you go. It's all, and we are in such a strong place because this is the first of the Trecina for the star Trecina. So we have the star, the first day of the star on the Mayan calendar. We have the worm moon, full moon, right? Yes. We have all of this that's coming together right now, plus, this growth, and it's all about leadership. And I was thinking about that when I was listening to you speak, Grandmother Renee, that the greatest leaders are really followers, aren't they? Mm-hmm. Because we're following the dream. And I know the Mamo said to me recently, Susan, have you abandoned your dream? Because if you abandon your dream, it's the greatest sin that you can ever commit against yourself. Mm. Because we followed our dream here. That's how we got here. And now we have to continue to follow that dream. And as we do, it's like the mother whale. We bring everyone else with us. And if we're all following our dream, we're all having that huge energy of coming together. And so that's what that balance is all about, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And that power. So I did bring something, if it's all right if I share this. Is it okay?
Yes.
So Gail, before you came on, we talked, and I just had a minute to talk about the peace boat, the ship that it's just tiny. It's like the size of a car. And they started in the Marshall Islands. They've been traveling for years. And when they were in San Francisco, they sank in the harbor. And somebody had to come and pull the boat up again. I mean, it's just been amazing time. And they're taking this message everywhere they go. But when they came down from the Great Lakes, they came down the Mississippi River, they couldn't go all the way because it's dried up. And that dried up part has stopped them. They couldn't go. So they had to cut over to the Ohio River where all this just happened. While they were there near St. Louis, a bat attacked the captain of this little tiny boat. He's a Hawaiian man. He got on in Hawaii. and the bat bit him, and he had to wait there for 2 weeks while they did all those shots in his stomach. There's so many different things that are happening right now because everything is in chaos. So getting ready for this in May, somebody called me up and they said, I have some geese to bring you for your dinners for the grandmothers. So I said, all right. So he brought me 2 snow geese and a blue goose. And they're dead, right? He had already pulled all their feathers off. And he said to me, you're going to have to wash these before you put them away in the freezer. So he left, and it was just me and these geese. And I started to bathe them. And I don't know what happened. Something came over me. And I started to cry. And I begged them to forgive me. And I told them that I didn't know why things were happening the way they are. I had no idea what I was talking about. None. But I just kept saying, please forgive me. I did my ho'oponopono and asked to be forgiven. And I told them that I love them. And I didn't know what it was. And I cleaned them and I put them in the freezer. The next day, that man called me again. And he said, I have more. And I said, well, I don't have any more room. I said, why do you have more? And he said that there are so many of these beautiful geese this year. And they're coming up the river. They are obliterating the view sometimes. There's just huge clouds of them. He said there's so many that they're killing them by the thousands. Thousands. I said, why? Because they're going to get to the Antarctica and they're going to pull the grass up in the tundra by the roots. But you know what? Why is this happening? Who is it that's causing this imbalance? And we're all aware of it, right? We're all hearing about it. And now, people have contacted me and they say, is your water at risk because of this thing with the train? Our water is at risk from a lot more reasons than that, isn't it? And what you're saying about the snow, that really hit me when I saw you post that. I put that everywhere because that really touched me too. I mean, remember when we were little and we would eat that snow? It was so wonderful, and now we can't even let our children play in it, So what I did tonight, with your permission, is I have some river water, right, from here. And then I brought something. And this, I don't know if you heard this, Gail, but this went along with what Renee taught me one time about this little necklace with the little water drop. Remember? And she said that was the tears. I've been doing that working with the men. But what I brought to go into this water is some salt from the Great Salt Lake in Utah. And the reason why, because I gathered this whole bottle of it, the reason why we're going to put this in our water tonight is because the Great Salt Lake is drying up. And now it used to be that the pelicans could go in huge flocks onto the little islands and they'd be safe there and have their babies, and their families. But now it's so dried up that the predators can walk right out there and eat them in their nests. What is happening? What's going on? And now it's time that we have to change, isn't it? Because this salt water are the mother's tears. Mm-hmm. Those are her tears. And that water, remember the prophecy? You guys were the ones that taught me that the earth will tilt and that salt water will come down into the lakes, remember? And affect that drinking water. And that's what 30-something% of the world's drinking water is in our Great Lakes. It's all going to be affected. So we can't wait any longer. We have to. And the walking of the grandmothers, that's so powerful. I love that's happening. But we have to walk every step now in our own life to carry that water. So with your permission, if it's all right, I'm going to sing a little water song. And then wherever we are with our water, we'll let the water know that we love this water, that our breath, and in Hawaii, we call it our ha, our sacred breath. We mingle it with the water, the molecules of the water. And when someone cries, we honor them with that respect of the tears in the water. And I know you guys know this song, so feel free to jump in with me. I don't know if this is going to be too loud. The river is flowing, flowing and flowing. The river is flowing down to the sea. Mother, Father, carry me. Your child I will always be. Mother, Father, carry me down to the sea. Wherever that water flows, we flow with it because our blood mingles with our mother's. And no matter what it is, we can never walk alone because she's always there with us. I love being a grandmother with you guys. I love this. And I know that there's nothing like it. So tonight is another woman named Melissa Fuller. She's up on a river in Iowa. This is her second night of doing ceremony because the water up there is so sick. And she's been up there doing it. So we connected our times so that she's doing her ceremony at the same time that we're doing ours, which just happens to be the same time as Corinne. All of these grandmothers all over the world, we're all doing our ceremonies tonight because these are the tears that we shed as well. So thank you. Thank you, sisters. I'll put this back into the river after we're done.
So, with that, I would like each one of you in your when tomorrow or maybe even later tonight is to walk to a river and just say thank you, and project your hands out like that, and send your love to that water because it will carry that love that you give to it tonight. And so I'm inviting all of us to go to the headwaters or go to the rivers, go to the lakes, and stand there and say thank you. And it's just like a child when you say thank you for this. There's love going to come to everyone, and that's the beauty of it. And so tonight we have come together, and so with that we will close for the night. And you can continue to be in ceremony. You can continue to think of these words, and in that time, take your time to even prepare a little feast plate to put out on to the grandmother moon, and berries or nuts, or because even the animals, they love that, knowing that you did ceremonies tonight. And so we will see you next moon, or we will do ceremonies whenever a crisis arises, when that phase of the moon is. So it may be new moon, it may be first quarter, it may be last quarter, but we're going to be there for our world, for our families, for all of us. And so tonight we say thank you. We thank you because you play, as they say, we are doing history tonight. You're doing history tonight. We rise and we stand together. That eighth fire, whatever they have called us, the coming of new minds. And so good night, everyone. And have at this time we say Guadaluncua. This feeling that I have in my being, I'm going to wrap it around each and every one till we meet again. Because there is no goodbyes. There always is, I'll see you soon. And so with that, much love.